Hey guys, welcome back to the Rebel Show. I'm Bree Mesquit, and today I have a special announcement for you guys. I'm going to take you along the journey for my new venture. We are opening up Rebel Wax Studios.
What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time, take back the power. What's your plan?
I'm going to have my first waxing studio where it's not me in the treatment room. I'm actually going to be hiring on employees here in Bend at my salon location that I've had for the past 4 years, but we've utilized it for so many different things. So at first it was for me to be taking clients, and our seamstress was sewing wax pads out of there. We were packaging orders out of there. And then from there, I was out of the treatment room. So then we started renting out the rooms. But now we are going to be opening up a waxing studio. So I'm really, really excited about this. And I want to bring you guys along to just really to document the journey and to share everything that I'm learning through this and how to help you guys set up your own even solo business. There's a lot to learn with that as well. So I'm going to kind of do a little recap in today's episode and then share like what retail I'm going to be using, back bar, setting up all the systems, which this is going to apply to you even if you're not necessarily hiring on employees. But if you have newly opened or plan on going solo and opening up your own business, this is going to be really useful episode for you. So first, let's start with insurance. Okay. You guys need to have insurance. I actually have this here. I did not plan on that, but Associated Skincare Professionals. That's who I've used for the past 13 years. So since I graduated school, my teacher was really big on letting us know you guys need to have liability insurance. Even she really recommended it, even if you are working for someone else, just to make sure you are fully covered. But they are fantastic. It's only $23 a month to get started. That's actually new. When I first signed up, you had to pay for the full year in advance, which honestly is not much at all. It's super affordable. But now having that monthly payment plan is really nice as well. So we'll have a link for you guys in the description below. So that's first and foremost. Now that's the liability. So that's if anything ever happens during a service like with your client. So that's to protect yourself against any mishaps with your client. Now you can also add on your property, like a property insurance as well. So it's going to cover any of your supplies. So your wax pots, your implements, like everything. You do want to make sure you have like a picture of everything so that if you hopefully, this is one of those things you want to have and hope like you never have to use, but you want to make sure you're protecting yourself. So I would personally go through, have a picture of everything within your space and like prices, make sure you save your receipt. So if you guys are shopping online, one of the things that I do for my business is every time a confirmation receipt comes in, I put it into a folder that's labeled like 2024 business receipts. So everything's in one folder, so it's really easy to find later. So that's the first thing is liability insurance. Okay, what else did I need to do? So you would want to create an LLC. Check with your state though, because I know California is one where you cannot be a solo practitioner and be an LLC. So check with your state, but I highly recommend it because it creates a separate entity so that you are not like, if something happens, they can't come after your personal assets. So like if you own your home, they could come after that, your car, or like anything that you own, any personal assets. If you, God forbid, were sued, they can come after that stuff. So creating an LLC, they can come after your business assets, but not your personal assets. So it just creates a separate entity from you, and it creates, your own business. So it makes it all legit. So that's something I needed. Well, I actually didn't need to do that because I'm funneling everything through my current business. And then if we grow past a certain point, then I might be advised. And this is one of those things, hire a bookkeeper or CPA if you can. I know it's a lot when you first begin, but the amount of money that you can save by not making like big financial mistakes is totally worth it. So my girl, you can reach out to her. Her name's Adriana. Budget B Financial is her business. Highly recommend. She offers bookkeeping. She's a tax professional. She's a CPA, so she can actually file your taxes. So that's huge. So that's one thing that I have set up for Rebel Wax Studios as well. Adriana is overseeing all of that and doing the bookkeeping for me. All right, next you're going to need a booking website. So I decided to go with GENUIS for Rebel Wax Studios. So I really love it because it can grow as you grow. So whether you're solo or you have a full team, you can do scheduling on there. What else? Inventory is huge. So I've been inputting all our inventory. You can run payroll for your team. It's really user friendly and it literally has everything. It has all your reports. It's really important to know your numbers. So that's one thing I got started off with at the very beginning. I was not happy with my old booking site that I used to use when I was personally in the treatment room. So I've done some research and I've landed on GENUIS, and so far I am very, very happy with them. All right. So that's that, got that set up. I had to extend my lease because my lease was going to be up in January, and I actually was planning on just closing up shop. All my renters had moved out, and I was like, I don't really have a need for this space anymore. And then I just had the wild hair of my, to open up a studio. Honestly, what even initiated all this is I see such a need here in Bend. So if you guys aren't familiar with where Bend is, we're Central Oregon, literally dead center of the state. And so girls are graduating and then not really having many options of places to go for employment. So they're kind of being forced to go solo. And the success rate with going solo straight out of school is really, really low. I want to say it's it's really low, 98, 97% end up quitting within the first year. So it's hard. It's really rough. And it's not something I necessarily recommend. So, but there's not a lot of options here. So, and then also Bend is growing rapidly. There are so many new people moving in. So there's really kind of a lack for services. There's a lot of people coming in, not a ton of service providers or options. So I've heard countless times from women in the area that they're just frustrated with not being able to find their specific hair or nails or whatever. People are booked out. And that was one thing I was like, you know what? This can solve problems from multiple different angles. Both for the client, we're going to provide an amazing waxing center for them to be able to go to, be taken care of, be given an A+ service, and have an amazing place for estheticians to come and earn a not just livable, but a thriving wage. So I have to give a huge thank you and shout out to Tanya from Just the Strip because she has majorly helped me set this up on the right foot. So she actually owns 2 waxing centers. Okay, not Lash and Wax, that's me. Wax and Lash Denver. She has 2 centers in Denver. And her girls, some of them have been with her for 6+ years because she pays really well. The way she's nailed it with the structure. So the clients are well taken care of and the waxers. And that's a problem that I really want to be able to solve as well, is have somewhere that people that don't necessarily want to be their own boss, they love the industry, they love waxing, they want to provide the service, but they don't want to have all the stress that comes with being their own boss. Or maybe that's a future down the line goal for them, but I want to be a place where they can just really enjoy working and earn a thriving wage for themselves and their families. Quick interruption to the show. I wanted to make sure that you are aware of my free 6-week hard waxing 101 course that I have put out for waxers to gain confidence in the treatment room, no matter where it is in your waxing career that you are at. You will also receive a certificate of completion once you complete the course. So visit us online, lashwaxoc.com, and you will click the training tab. Now back to the show. I'm really excited about this, but that's kind of where this whole idea stemmed from. Literally, it's been maybe a couple days passed away. We're probably 9 days out from when I had this idea. And that's one thing I'm really proud of myself on. And I kind of admire about myself. I was telling my husband, I act fast. One of the things I've really learned from working with my business coach is money loves speed. So it's as soon as I make that decision, I am going to act so freaking fast as I possibly can, and just start attacking that list of things to do. It is nice that I'm now I am starting over in essence, but I'm starting from experience too. So I've done this before. I just haven't done it building a clientele for other people and like hiring on waxers, but I've built 2 clienteles now. So it is really nice to be working from experience, which is why I want to document this for you guys to really help you guys with building your clienteles as well. Another thing I needed to get done was get my facility license. So I drove to Salem. I also was not yet licensed because I've been product focused. So I went and got my Oregon license officially, and I took the test, and that was quite interesting. It was a little bit of a humbling experience because like it was so weird. It was very weird. My husband went with me, so I'm sitting in the office waiting to take my test, to be called to take my test. I have orders for wax coming in. I'm like answering questions to estheticians that are reaching out to me on Instagram. I'm reading through like my YouTube, these podcast comments and responding to people. I'm like, I've gotten so far and I feel like I'm at square one again. It was just really like kind of humbling, but also I think it was like really beautiful because I feel like such a further, deeper connection with like you guys and those of you who are watching this that are currently in school, or maybe you're studying for your state board test, or you're newly licensed. Like it just brought me back to that. Like it all came rushing back to me like my first time taking my test in California. So I think it was kind of a beautiful experience, and it was really fun to have my husband there with me too. I was so nervous. I felt like this one lady might have, because she was from Bend, and I felt like she might have recognized me because she kept looking at me funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't tell anyone that I'm like here taking my test. It's so embarrassing. And then I was like, oh my God, what if I fail? So okay, how did I study? So I called, first of all, let me back up. If you are transferring from one state to another, here's the steps you're going to take. First, you're going to call the state that you now reside in, call their state board and ask what you need. What they're going to have you do is call wherever you're currently licensed, call that state board or go online, and you're going to pay for like a verification. So they're going to California sent to Oregon the verification of my license being current in California. And then that allowed me to be able to go take the test. So you want to get that done first. Also call before you drive to go take the test, because here in Oregon, we could show up between 9 and 1 Monday through Friday, just show up and take the test. But I called before we left to make sure that they did receive the verification, because it's about 3 hour. It's a 3-hour drive from where we're at. So like that would totally suck if we would have shown up and then like they didn't have all that. So make sure all that's in line. Then I asked them, hey, what test am I going to have to take? So I didn't have to do my practical or anything. It was just a law exam and law and aesthetics, just like general aesthetics. So I was like, what's the best way to study? So they actually emailed me over a packet. So I just printed those packets out and literally on the drive over there. And now I don't necessarily recommend this, but I have been in the industry for a long time. So I just really needed to more like freshen up and know like Oregon's laws specifically. The aesthetics portion was fairly easy, but I am glad I read through it because there was a lot of like weird terminology that I kind of forgot about from school. So I just read through Oregon law, especially like the Oregon law was a 73-page packet. The aesthetics was 19 pages. Then I also went on YouTube and just typed in Oregon State Board practice, aesthetics practice, and like a few YouTube videos popped up where this girl was actually reading questions and answers. And I'm glad I did that right. And this is how I personally test best. So you'll have to see what works best for you guys. But I just listened to that in the car on the way there. Then everything was fresh. So I did fortunately pass both of the exams. You need to have 2 forms of identification. This almost like was not good. I almost like wasn't going to be able to take my test. They never told me that when I called in. So make sure you have 2 forms of identification. So like your driver's license, your ID, passport, birth certificate, social security card. I fortunately had something else in my wallet that I found last minute that like ended up working, but also making sure that the 2 forms have the same last name. So like for me, one of the forms I had my maiden name on it, and then my driver's license has my married name of Mesquite. So it was like not matching up. So that almost was an absolute disaster. So just forewarning you, make sure you ask that specifically, or just better safe than sorry, just show up with 2 forms of identification. It was multiple choice. So how I personally do multiple choice test is I will go through and answer all the ones I just know right off the bat. Answer them, skip any that I don't know. oftentimes future questions will actually answer past questions, and like in the question itself, it's weird. Just like trust me on this. Just skip the ones that don't sit there and give too much thought. If you have to give it any thought, just skip past it and just do the ones that you know first of all, because also the computer will say correct or incorrect right away, and it's like a mental game too at that point. If you start seeing, you need those quick wins. So going through and getting all the correct, like it does something subconsciously. So just trust me on this. Skip the ones you don't know, answer the ones you know immediately, and then go back. And then what I do from there is usually two are like, one is just like completely just stupid and you know it's not the right answer. One usually is like worded weird where you're kind of second guessing yourself and it's trying to trip you up. And then usually you can land on two that like seem like they could be the answer. And then it's like a 50-50 guess from there. If you really just don't know, then take your best guess from there. So that's kind of how I recommend doing multiple choice test. Also, there's so many resources, like I believe it's called Quizlet. There's different things. If you guys in the comments, if you can let people know the different resources, that would be super awesome. Because like I said, I've been out of this part of it for a long time. So if you guys have any additional like study resources, I would love if you guys can share that in the comments for others. And yeah, so that's kind of how that went. Got my facility license. I had to do that for under now Rebel Wax Studios. And that's that. Okay, then we went to IKEA while we were on this road trip as well, because we had to go to Salem, and it was about 50-ish minutes from Portland. Portland has an IKEA, so being in a small town, that's been kind of interesting, dealing with like the building out of the salon, like getting all the furniture that's needed. Because back home when I was in Orange County, like literally everything was readily available to us and like local and close and easy. But here in Bend, it's not. So we drove to Portland because I was pricing out like, okay, what if I get cabinets from Home Depot or Lowe's? It was like double the price. So I looked up IKEA. I was like, it's worth it to make the drive. We're going to be saving a lot of money. So I went with the ENHET, ENHET cabinets, and with drawers. So I really like drawers. I've used dressers in the past, and I've used actual cabinets, and like when it's on shelves, things get pushed to the back. It's just like super disorganized. So I really like drawers. So I got 4 of them. We put them all together, and then it was perfect because the like table topper or the topper to it was only $99, and it was like perfectly fit 4 of them. So make sure you measure that out too. And then we were able to pick what hardware we wanted for like the handles. So I picked the ones that kind of like hook on the back of the drawer, because I figured over like prolonged use, there's no way for it to really get loose because it's like pulling from the back of the drawer. So that's what I got, and I love it. It looks super fresh, super clean, super functional as well. And yeah, that was great. So I highly recommend ENHET. Okay, then I had to figure out like what products am I going to be using. So I've decided on Just the Strip and Relax and Wax, both for back bar and retail. So I'll kind of go through what I have. I have some of the stuff here. So I'm going to be retailing scrub gloves. Now I'm going to be getting pink ones. And I went with Just the Strip. They had a great deal for scrub gloves. So I got their pink scrub gloves. Highly recommend. You need to have an ingrown hair serum. So I went with Just the Strip for the ingrown hair serum. Relax and Wax also has an ingrown hair serum. That's great as well. But I went with Smooth Operator. So this is a roll-on. So super easy to use for clients, and a great price point for us and for the client. And then I went with Just the Strip. This is also Smooth Operator, so same formula, but in a pad. I love these pads. They're like little magic erasers for ingrowns, I swear. And these ones smell really good, so I am happy with that. So I'm going to have that for retail. I will also have, it hasn't come in yet, but I have body wash coming, and then I have you want to have some sort of moisturizer, so I'm going to be using the body washes from Just the Strip, and then I'm using their nourishing oils as a moisturizer as well. So those are the 5 retail products that I'm starting off with. Okay, my back bar. So this is like most important. I have our Rebel Wax, of course. So I'm actually going to allow our girls to pick between which one they want to use. So I have 4 wax pots in total in the treatment room. So 3 5-pound wax pots that will be filled with hard wax. So we're going to have a 50-50 blend, gel, and cream-based formula available. We're going to have just a cream-based formula available in one of the pots, and then one of the pots will have just one of our gel-based formulas. So that's what we're going to be using as far as hard wax. For soft wax, I didn't grab a can, but we're going to have our clear soft and honey soft. Now, I decided, and I've never really offered soft wax services in the past, but especially being here in Bend, the climate is so different. So I've noticed a lot of people come in super dry and dehydrated, which can make especially lower leg and just leg waxing an absolute pain with hard wax, where it's starting to break and be dry, like brittle on you. It's not the wax's fault. Okay, if you're using a good, and I'm not just talking about Rebel, there's other great brands out there where you can experience this issue, and we're so quick to blame the wax. If you're using a professional high quality wax, it's not the wax's fault, it's the lack of prep. So I'm going to be really big on like client education, but there's going to be those times when people come in, they haven't properly prepped. So I want to have soft wax available and on hand for those situations as well. So common areas that we might decide to use soft wax would be legs for sure. And then sometimes like men's like full back services and things like that. So I will have Rebel Honey and Clear Soft available in our treatment room as well. Next back bar item I have is No Trauma Mama. This is by Relax and Wax. So this is great to have on hand for any super sensitive area. So I personally love to use this after a full face wax, maybe a brow wax, bikini area. If the client's super sensitive, normally I would end with like a oil, like the nourishing oil by Just the Strip, or in the past I've been using fur oil, but I'll have this on hand if like they're really sensitive, then this is great. Also, this is really great, just like keep in mind if you accidentally ever lift someone or someone gets burnt, especially if they maybe didn't list like a medication or something that they're taking and they didn't list it and you accidentally lift them, like I don't know, sometimes people are on Accutane or something and they don't tell you because they want you to agree to waxing them, and then you end up lifting them. But this is really great. It's just so calming and soothing. So I love No Trauma Mama. It used to be in like this little squeeze bottle, but now they have a back bar size. So this is so fun. So I'm really excited about this. And I might even put a little pump on it, actually. Yeah, we might do that. All right. Now, next thing, this is really important to have. It's a new product by Relax and Wax. It's called Just Calm Down. So a common issue with waxing is histamine reactions. And people think something went wrong or they did something wrong. It's just something that can happen for certain people. So a few tricks. So you want to have your client take an antihistamine internally, so that can be like a Claritin or something, 30 to 45 minutes before their waxing appointment if they are prone to histamine reactions. And then this product is actually a topical antihistamine, so then you can apply this after the service, and now you're attacking it from the inside out and outside in. So this is something that's going to be new. I haven't provided this in the past because it's a newer product, but I'm really excited about this one. So this is going to be really huge, and then we're going to want to make sure on our social media and any of our marketing that we're educating people about histamine reactions so they don't leave and think like you did something wrong. Also, sometimes people are like, well, maybe I'm just not a candidate for waxing. A lot of my clients that I used to have did struggle with histamine reactions. We did a few different things to help like combat it and at least subside it a little bit, but they were like, you know what, the results of waxing is worth it for me to deal with this histamine reaction for 12 to 24 hours. It used to be a few days having to deal with it, but now with a few things that I put into play, it's usually like half a day to a full day, and then their skin's back to normal. They're like, it's worth it. Only having to wax once a month. All right, another back bar product that I always have to have is citrus wax cleaner. So this is by Relax and Wax, and this is great for cleaning your pots. If you have any wax residue on your wax pads, your countertops, your floor, this just is a general overall great cleaner for wax residue. Works on hard and soft wax, and it smells really, really good. Every time I clean up my pot or use this to clean up any wax, and a client walks in afterwards, like, it smells so good in here. So highly recommend. Every treatment room needs to have a citrus wax cleaner. And you know what? I think I have a code for Relax and Wax still. BREE10, BREE10. We'll link it in the description too. Okay, so this is how I prep a client. Pre-cleanse, pre-oil, and that's it. I don't powder. So the pre-wax cleanser I'm using is Clean Sweep by Relax and Wax. My tried and true from the very beginning, and I absolutely love it, and I will not be switching ever because I love it. So great price point for Relax and Wax as well. So Clean Sweep, that's going to be the pre-wax cleanser we're using. Then pre-wax oil. So they have either arnica or tea tree oil. So that's what I'm going to be using by Relax and Wax as well. This is the arnica. Arnica is going to be really good for people who like maybe tend to bruise and stuff. But I love arnica. And then tea tree has like antiseptic properties. Honestly though, for a pre-wax oil, doesn't really matter. Choose whichever one. Okay, I talked about the nourishing oil and I forgot that I actually had it here with me. So this is the one. They have a lot of different scents. But this is the one. I'm just starting with one. So this is going to be retailed. It's the mint. I just felt like this is one that like most everyone will like. And then I'll start adding in others as we get busier. But I just need to start seeing a little revenue coming in before I'm spending too much on retail. So nourishing oil for a moisturizer. Just the strip. Silky smooth. Really excited about that one. All right. And then a new service that I've offered it here and there, but we're going to have on our service menu is going to be a vajacial. Now, I've chosen not to put on our service menu like as a standalone product, but something that they can add on to their wax. So what I personally like to do for a vajacial, so this is it's called the Peachy treatment. So it's actually the 3-step protocol from Relax and Wax. So they have a lactic acid cleanser. Oh, it's so pretty. I don't want to untie it. Oh, well. Oh, this packaging. I love it. Hopefully I can retie that bow just as nice as it was there. All right, so we got 3 products in here. So we got their lactic acid cleanser called Peachy Clean. My Name is Mud, which is the mud mask. And then we have, I forget the name of this one, Renew, which is a moisturizer. And then it also comes with this application brush as well. So my protocol for vajacials, what I've always done in the past is cleanse. And then I do a double mask. So I will do the mud mask first because this has drawing agents in it that actually kind of helps bring ingrowns up to the surface, making extractions a lot easier. Now, it's not going to bring in like those deep ingrowns. It can start to help, but it's going to be a little bit more consistency over time. But surface ingrowns and stuff, amazing. So I do this second. I do the mud mask. Then I do extractions, and then I do a second mask, which I do hydrogelly mask, the intensive aftercare by SD Max. So that's how I like to do vajacials, and then I end with the moisturizer. So what you're going to do quickly, the protocol is you're going to wax. So you're going to pre-cleanse, pre-oil, wipe away any excess oil, provide the waxing service. Then you're going to, so you won't really need this now that I think about it, because I'm not going to do this as a standalone. Oh, wait, I didn't think this one through, you guys. Huh. You could technically still cleanse, though, after the wax. But see, okay, here's my thinking, though. Because it's a mild lactic cleanser, so you totally could still do this. Not super necessary, though, because lactic acid is exfoliating, but the waxing service itself is exfoliating as well. So I'm not going to be using any steam or anything. I'm not a big fan of using steam after a wax. The idea is we want to start like closing up the pores. Anyways, all right, I'm going to have to rethink this. Okay. From there, what I would do is when pairing with an actual wax is then apply the mud mask. So you'll just use a facial brush, or even honestly, I'll use a waxing stick and like apply it with a waxing stick. Apply this fairly thin, or else it's going to take forever to dry, and this is going to really help draw up those ingrowns, and then you'll go ahead and remove. I've decided I really don't want to have a bunch of laundry in the salon, and this might change. Like, I'm just trying to set things up what I think will work best, and then we might have to make adjustments later as we actually get into it, but I just don't want to have a ton of laundry. So I got the facial sponges, just a one-time use, and I found pink ones on Amazon that are heart-shaped, so I'm super excited about that. So we'll use that to remove the mud mask, then do extractions, then do the hydrogelly mask, the intensive aftercare, because that's really calming, cool. It's really cool. So it helps contract the pores and just kind of like seal everything, and bring down any redness or irritation. And then we'll end it with moisturizer. So that's something that I'm really excited about having as well. So that's kind of my back part in retail that I'm going to get started with. All right. What else have we done? So now okay, so the salon has 3 private rooms, but one of them is fairly small, so we're actually going to make that our storage room. So that's going to have all of our extra back bar stuff, our extra wax, all of that's going to be in the storage room. So we are starting with 2 treatment rooms. Now, this is something that I learned from Tanya, that each treatment room should not cost more than like $1,000. So we are at about $650 to $700 per treatment room if we just keep the 2. So we're starting with building out the first treatment room, and then as we find and hire new waxers, which I've officially hired my first waxer, we're going to start with 2. But as we build out and get them really busy, I don't want to start with too many and then everyone's just like not busy. I want to make sure everyone's making good wages. So we're starting with the 1 treatment room, 2 waxers, and then we'll grow from there. So what we have left is we're waiting for a lot of our furniture to come in. I've already claimed, okay, that's another big thing. Buy your domains. So I went on GoDaddy and bought our website domains. So I did rebelwaxstudio.us, rebelwaxstudio.com, rebelwaxstudio.net, rebelwaxstudio.org. So that was what was recommended to me. So I claimed those. And then you want to claim your handles, all your social handles. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even if you're not going to utilize all of them right now, claim them. And then what else do we have left? Just continuing to build out the room, find our second hire, and then we'll start training, and then I'll start going hard on marketing and actually attracting clients in. So that is it. That's where we're at with Rebel Wax Studios. Really excited to bring you guys on this journey with me and share with you everything that I learned through this process. So thank you for spending time with me today again, and make sure you do all the YouTube things I almost forgot to ask you. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and then I will see you guys back next week.